Steve Double joins us now from College Green. And Steve, were you disappointed with how this launch went?
Good morning, Tom. Yes, clearly the end result was not what we hoped for. Everything up until that point went perfectly. We got the plane up, the rocket was launched from the plane, everything appeared to be going perfectly well, and then at that final stage of separation something went wrong, which meant the rocket wasn't able to get into the orbit it needed to be in to release those satellites. So although very disappointing in the end result, from a Spaceport Cornwall point of view, everything went really well right up until that point.
Now, of course, you're part of a group of people who worked tirelessly to get this launch off the ground, if you'll pardon the pun. Does this mean that we will see another launch in fairly short order? How quickly can this all get going again?
Absolutely. This was the culmination of 8 years of hard work and campaigning by a large group of people across many different organisations to get us to this point. But absolutely, this is not the end of the story. Everyone I speak to is absolutely determined that we will go again as quickly as possible, hopefully later this year, and try again to get those satellites into the right orbit. This is a long-term project. This wasn't just a one-off. We know these things can happen in space. Putting satellites in space is difficult. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. So there is a real determination to make sure that this is not the end of the story, and we will go again as soon as possible.
Now, of course, Newquay, your patch, is one of the 7 spaceports that the United Kingdom has. 4 of them are these horizontal launch pads, as we saw in Newquay. 3 of them are vertical launch pads, mostly up in Scotland. My question to you, Steve, is will Newquay now be beaten in the race by one of the other 6 launch pads, or will it be Newquay that takes the crown after all for the first European launch of a satellite?
Well, just to slightly correct you there, Tom, I mean, Newquay is at the moment the only operational spaceport in the UK. We know that they are developing in Scotland, in Shetland, for a vertical launch site as well. But as far as I'm aware, there are no other advanced plans for a horizontal launch site yet in the UK. Newquay is the only one. We made history in Newquay this week by getting that rocket into space. But absolutely, I believe that the UK wants to be a significant player in the international global space sector, and in order to do that we need to have launch capability, and there is room for both vertical and horizontal launch capabilities to cater for different needs for different types of satellites, and I believe Newquay will still into the future have a significant part to play in providing that horizontal launch capability to get those smaller satellites, which much of the market is now shifting to, into orbit.
Well, Steve Double, thank you for joining us here on The Brief.